Recording in progress. Now we're starting. All right. So, hey, everybody who's with me live, everybody who is watching this, thank you so much. This is a one-off kind of bonus training, and my name is Jake. If you don't know me, I am the founder of The Locker Room, and it just every time I get to do this with y'all, it brings me a lot of joy. It's a lot of fun for me to get in front of you, and hopefully you take away something every time, whether it's from myself, one of our national directors, one of our growth partners, one of our amazing coaches, heck, even our staff and leadership team here. Everybody is here to serve you, and I hope you feel that. I really do. We're not some big corporate kind of thing. We are real people just like you, and we have a heart of service just like you. So therefore, we are friends, whether we've ever officially met or not. So that being said, the reason we are here today is because I titled this "It's Halftime." It's halftime. Now we can play on all the puns and things, and I probably will, right? Here we are, right? This is the locker room. You're part of the locker room nation. And it's halftime. So I said, it's time to huddle up. Let's go ahead and meet in the metaphorical locker room. So I want you to imagine that here we are. We're this gigantic team. And it's halftime. And I'm the coach. I'm saying, come on, players, let's go inside. Let's meet up. We're going to draw some X's and O's up on the chalkboard and see how are we doing? And more importantly, how are we going to leave this locker room and compete so that we win the second half of the game? Are you with me? So this is one of my favorite trainings to do. I've been doing this now for 4 or 5 years anyways, and I look forward to it every single time. So here's what I need from you all today. Even those of you who are watching the replay of this, I need you hopefully in a place that you can absorb the information, take notes, play full on with me, and be present over the next 30 minutes. Can I ask that of you? Yes or yes? Gosh, I hope so, because guys, part of today is going to be me talking at you like this, and part of today is going to be me sharing some things on the screen that I need you to take notes on. All right, just follow along with me. It might make your head hurt a little bit. I just need you to humor me a little bit today. This is really, really important stuff. One more thing real quick. At the end of today, as much as I want you to take notes and participate and follow along, yes is the answer. Yes, this is being recorded as we speak. It will be made available to you. Yes, what I'm going to show you in the form of an example, I will post in the Facebook page when we're done, along with, listen up, along with a blank version of what I'm going to be sharing with you today so that you can go take this and do it for yourself and your own business. Does that make sense? All right. This is everything. You're not here for the next 30 minutes just to hear me jabber on and pump you up. That's not what this is for. Take what I'm going to share with you today as the example and do it for yourself and your own business. All right? All right. So, like I said, it's halftime. We're here in the locker room. How many of you right now, give me a little heart-like thingy. How many of you right now have watched any of the Olympic trials on TV? Go ahead and give it a like or a heart if you've watched the Olympic trials on TV. I did a quick little video in the group page the other day about this. If you are specifically like track and field, there's some really good wisdom and things for us to take away just by watching them. I mean, you've got on display right there on your television some of the most elite athletes in the entire world competing to make it in the Olympics. So as much as that is entertaining to some of us, there's a lot of wisdom and a lot of things that through the lens of a coach, being a student of the game, that you can pick up on. Right. So take, for example, these records being, the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter dash, doesn't matter what it is, pick your race. But as you see those athletes running, pumping their arms, they're focused, they're staring straight ahead, not looking to their right or their left most times. And they are so focused on running their race, not their neighbor's race. They're focused on running their race, right? They're not pulling up short. They're not just going through the motions. They're maybe at some point halfway through the race, they start to realize the reality that I'm probably not going to win. I'm probably not running my personal best time. But you know what? They finish strong anyways because they're the elite athletes out there. They may not even make it to the Olympics beyond the trials, but they still finish strong. They still sprint all the way through the line. And after all, the overused quote sometimes, but it's true in this case, it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish the race. And I'm talking to all of you right now. I hope you see the metaphor inside of all this. Guys, those athletes take great pride in all the preparation that nobody ever sees. They just see them show up and say, oh, it must come natural to them. They were gifted. And in many ways, that's right. But think of all the hours in the gym, the blood, sweat, and tears just to get to that moment, right? And in fact, once they get close to that line, whether they're in first place or dead last, most of them lean in. Where in your life do you need to lean in right now? They lean forward just to get that neck extended and the tip of their hair, their nose to cross that finish line, no matter what, right? They know that they're connected and representing something far bigger than just themselves. Doesn't that sound a lot like you and me? I don't know about you, but picking up that phone when I don't want to and lead generating, when I can stop making it about me and know I'm playing this real estate game for something so far bigger than just me. It's to serve others. It's to represent and serve my family who's depending on me, or whatever you want to fill in the blank as far as why you're doing what you're doing. Whatever your big why is, that's what this game is about. Guys, when we chose the name of the locker room in August of 2016, all right, we're just a young pup company in the grand scheme of things here. But it was because it was symbolic in nature. And some of you have heard this, some of you haven't heard this. But the locker room to me represents a sacred place where teams come together. They share blood, sweat, and tears with one another. It's where bonds are formed. It's a place, like I said earlier, where we put X's and O's up on the chalkboard and strategize on how in the heck we're going to win this game. And so it's that reason that the locker room today stands for coming together as one tribe, one community, one team. Right? We all work towards a common purpose. You all have different goals. I don't know, and I hope to one day meet all of you, but odds are I won't. But I do know one thing, that in the end, most of us are probably pursuing the same thing when you break it down. And that's to fund a life by design instead of living a life by default. Somewhere in that, I've got to believe we all have that common gene, common thread amongst us. We're chasing peace of mind and happiness. It's not about the money. It's not about the stuff. Nothing wrong with wanting all of that, but it's deeper than that. I really believe that. So, like I said, the locker room, where we are right now, imagine this metaphorical locker room that we're in, me talking to you and vice versa. Look, we can embrace each other's imperfections, can't we? God, I hope so. I've shared a lot with y'all through my videos, if you've watched any of them. And by doing so, we know that we're teammates with one another, because a teammate is going to be there and pick us up and dust us off when we need them the most. It's where we can accept one another for our own unique talents and abilities and not judge one another for any level of shortcomings that we have. Let me tell you something, lean in. No one here is broken. Stop thinking like you're broken. Stop trying to fix yourself. Let's get out there and overcome challenges. Yes, we all have challenges, right? But I want to stay in solution mode with you. And here's the last thing on this. Don't confuse your performance with your identity. Write that down right now. Write this down. Don't confuse your performance with your identity. Somebody out there right now needs to hear that. What do I mean? Well, performance is what you do. Your identity is who you are. And there's such a fine line between saying things like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm failing. I am blank is a very, very powerful statement. Watch out what you're filling in that blank with. Your performance is what you do. Your identity is who you are. If you feel like a failure, you got to get your head straight, man. You're not. You may have done activities that you've tried and failed doing, but just as John Maxwell says, you either win or you learn. There is no such thing as failure as long as you get back up and keep trying and learn from your past mistakes. All right. So we're going to get into the meat and taters of this, but today is about accepting your current reality. I just got to get your head on straight with this. Accept your current reality. We have to look in the mirror and assess, where am I? It's kind of like when you show up to a big mall or whatever, and you look at that board and say, you are here. Because to know where I'm going, I have to look backwards and know where I've been. We're going to reflect a little bit today, and I'm going to leave you with hope and plan and a strategy to go crush the second half of this game. So some of you right now, do you have a plan? Are you executing on that plan? Did you go back in January with all your New Year's resolutions, and I've got this beautiful business plan all wrapped up? How you doing on that? Are you halfway through it? Have you even started it? It's just good, fancy looking words on paper. Some of you hopefully have executed it to perfection. So are you on track? And I don't mean Track Plus, our flagship product. I mean, are you on track towards your goals right now? Have you drifted off course a little bit? I want you to ask yourself these 4 simple questions. These can be found in the Locker Rooms toolkit if you look for the KISS questions. Yes, KISS, KISS questions. But here they are anyways. Some of you might want to write these down, but again, you can go grab the actual worksheet in the toolkit. First question, we're looking backwards, we're reflecting. If you've been in the real estate this entire year, or even a month or a week, I still want you to ask this. What is it that I need to keep doing? That's the K in this KISS acronym. What is it that I need to keep doing? Write that question down and answer it later when you have time to reflect and think. Second question, what is it that I need to be more intentional about? That's the I, intentional. What is it that I need to be more intentional about? Call yourself out, man. Like, yeah, I know if I just dialed it in a notch, put a little bit more focus and discipline over there, I'd probably see better and different results. There you go. The first S, what do I need to start doing? What is it that I need to start doing? And the last S is what is it that I need to stop doing? What is it that you need to stop doing? Reflect on the past 6 months, again, year to date, or at whatever level that some of you might have gotten in this real estate business. Reflect on those questions, answer them, learn from them, make adjustments based on them. My college coach in baseball would always say hokey things, and one of which he said the dinosaurs were extinct because they didn't know how to make an adjustment. Right? You got to make adjustments in any sport, right? What is the other one? Man, I'm just going off the cuff here. Talking about squirrels, like roads are lined with dead squirrels who couldn't make a decision. I mean, I love animals, first of all, but these squirrels, they run out in front of you and they're like, which way do I go? And you end up seeing a bunch of dead squirrels along the way. That's not you. Make a decision, reflect, and learn from things along the way. So it does go without being said that here we are at the 6-month mark, man. We're halfway through the year. Many of you are probably thinking, where in the hell did the time go? How is it almost July already? Or am I the only person? No, probably not. Many of you are also probably feeling the pressures, if I had to guess, the stresses around performance so you can achieve those goals that you set out to achieve this year. Tell me I'm wrong. So today, we're going to have each and every one of you assess where you're at with no fear, no judgment, or just honest inventory. Where am I? You are here. Okay. And by the end of it, we're going to ask you, well, do you like where you are? And more importantly, are you committed, not interested, but committed on where you're going? Are you steadfast on where you're going? So right now, I am going to share with you on my screen. This is the part where I need you guys to follow along, take notes. Yes, I will make this example, and that's all this is. It's an example available to you so that when you go do your own version of this exercise, you can kind of have a little cheat sheet to see what I meant if you forgot. Fair? All right, let's do this thing. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's hope this works. All right. Matter of fact, let me pop on real quick Facebook and make sure that this is working. Hey, I see I got 40 comments. Rock on. Uh-oh, did it end? Am I still on Facebook Live? I hope it is. I'm going to proceed as if it is. I don't know if y'all are with me. Can somebody comment? Let me know if you're still with me right now. Yes. Melissa Cruz says yes. Okay, cool. This is hard, man. Jeez. Okay, guys. So if you can see my screen right now, I hope to God that you can. All right, I'm getting a bunch of yeses. All right, cool. Yes, it's blurry. Susan sees my doc. Okay. I want you to follow along with me here. It's halftime. How are you doing? This is my example. I know your numbers could look differently. So write some of these things down. In my example here, let's say I'm an agent who wants to earn $100,000. You know who you are. And because I'm using an average sales price of $225 and an average commission rate of 2.8%, I'm going to therefore assume, just trust my math on this, that I need to close roughly $3.5 million of sales volume, which at that sales price is about 15, let's call it 16 units closed. Okay, those are just some quick little assumptions of what my annual goals would be as an agent. Now, today's exercise, like I told you, is meant to examine the current reality. And again, all of you will have your chance to fill out your own worksheet. Just play along with me for now. So let's just hypothetically say I'm an agent who's sitting here probably thinking, gosh, I'm behind on my goals this year. Maybe I should adjust my goals so they're more realistic. You know who you are. Stop it. Don't adjust your goals, adjust your activities. Okay? So let's just hypothetically say year to date at the halfway point, I've earned $25,200 because I've closed 4 homes for a total volume of $900,000. Just humor me and let's say that that's the case. Now, as an outsider looking in, or if I can get in your brain for a second, you're probably sitting there like, well, Captain Obvious Jake, yes, I am behind on goal. For most people, once that self-talk begins, then all of a sudden they start doubting, they start second guessing, they start creating excuses, they start playing professional victim, on and on and on. And I told you just a moment ago, you and me, we're in the locker room together right now. I said no judgment, didn't I? So stop casting judgment on yourself right now if you are having some of that negative self-talk. Let's continue. So again, in my example here, I'm just assessing reality. I'm about 25.2% of goal. How do I know that? Because I've earned $25,200 out of my goal of $100,000. Pretty easy math. Right now, I am currently, we could argue, underperforming, right? All right, cool. No judgment. I'm just seeing the facts. Let's continue. So the breakdown year to date, in my example, because remember, I said I've closed 4 homes year to date. Let's say, I don't know, I closed 1 in the first quarter between January, February, and March. And I've closed 3 in the second quarter between April, May, and June, right? All of you right now should have an idea of what your own numbers would be. But once again, I'm going to provide you a blank version of this so you can fill it out yourself when we're done here today. Now check this out. This is where some coaching is going to start happening here. See right here in the middle of my screen? If you can or can't, I'll read it anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, there was something that I was taught, gosh, years ago, and I'm going to go ahead and call it the 65-35 rule. Now, I was a big fat skeptic at the time on this until I inspected my own reality, and I'll be darned if it's not true. I was probably one of the biggest skeptics of all until I saw, oh my gosh, I'm not too far off from that myself. So what I'm talking about is a common rule in this type of business. All right, I see your comments, it's blurry, whatever, stick with me. Is that 65% of your business, write this down, 65% of your yearly production is likely to happen in 2 quarters. 2 quarters. Which means the other 35% of your total production would happen in the other 2 quarters. So here's what happens, guys. Pause. In most cases, when you're setting goals and you're tracking, am I on pace or not on pace towards achieving those goals, it's not as easy as slicing it up by 12 months or slicing it up by 4 quarters evenly. You are setting your expectations up for failure if you think it's that clear cut. It's not. And that was one of the greatest gifts that a coach gave me, and maybe I'm giving to you today if you didn't know this. So what I'm talking about is, it's not realistic or reasonable to say, if I have a goal of earning $100,000, what's 100,000 divided by 12 months? Well, guy, it doesn't work like that. There's an ebb and flow to this. There's such a thing called seasonality in our business, especially real estate. So if I take my example, follow me here, which was to close 15.87 homes. And 65% of that business should come in 2 quarters, like I just got done telling you, then that actually suggests my best 2 quarters should represent 10.32 closings. Which also means the other 2 quarters, which is meant to represent 35% of my overall production, I'm supposed to close 5.5 homes. Aha! So every month, every quarter is not weighted equally. For some of you right now, this could be an aha moment. No wonder you've been beating yourself up and feeling like you're behind, because we're only 2 quarters in, and for most of you, let's say the best quarters are Q2 and Q3. So if you're pacing and saying, well, I'm behind my goal, in fact, you might be right exactly where you're supposed to be, because Q1 was one of your slower months. Q2 and Q3 are supposed to be your best months. Is this making sense? Well, if not, let's follow along and it will. So the gap, assume in this case that Q2 and Q3 are your best selling quarters. Based on that information I just gave you, the 35% quarters, Q1 and Q4, should close a total of 5.5 homes. Well, in my mock example here, I've already told you that I've closed 1 in Q4, which means I need to close 4.5 to make up for it in the 4th quarter. Well, I'll worry about that then. I've got time on my side. I can work to creating my pipeline. But here's the kicker. The 65% quarters, the ones that are meant to do the heavy lifting, those 2. I closed 3 in my example here in Q2, which means then I need to close 7.3 in the 3rd quarter. Well, for all of us right now, we're on the doorsteps of the 3rd quarter. You still got time on your side, because the quarter at the time can seem like a long period. We've got July, we've got the entire month of August, we've got the entire month of September. You still have plenty of time in this example to make up for those 7 homes, right? Because here I'm going to get 10 and here I'm going to get 5, bing, bang, boom. Next thing you know, I'm right on track to still achieving my yearly goal. Some of you are tempted to throw in the towel right now, and this could be an aha moment for you if you believe, like I now do, and apply the 65-35 rule. Let's continue. Guys, this could be the most shocking thing for some of you. Any good coach, any good team knows the scoreboard and they know how much time is left on the clock, right? So the time that's left on the clock, literally as we sit here today, June 30th, 2021, We have, did you know this, by the way? This is crazy. Did you know there's 185 days left in the year, literally as of today? 126 working days left in the year. Why? Because I'm giving you Saturdays off and Sundays off. That's 26 Saturdays and 26 Sundays, and 7 federal holidays between now and the end of the year. So, dude, I'm just saying you've got 126 working days if we're doing the typical approach. And as a result of that, assuming an 8-hour workday, you still have 1,008 working hours. Now, you can nerd out with me as much as I do, but guys, it's perspective. It's knowing what's the score and how much time is left on the clock. Okay? And here we go again. It's just math. What the heck are you going to do about it? Bear with me. If I have 126 working days left in the year, and I do what Track, insert shameless Track Plus plug, says to do, which is 5 conversations a day. You cannot convince me, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care if you're a full-time agent by definition, or you've got a full-time job and you consider yourself part-time dual career. You cannot convince me that every single one of you can not make 5 contacts a day. Yes, you can. You have the time. Okay. So if I just do that simple discipline, that's 630 conversations between now and the end of the year if I'm just consistent and I have discipline. Well, as you've heard me say before, I track this like you wouldn't believe. I hope you know your own number, but if not, let's assume a 2% conversion ratio. For every 50 contacts, it will end up yielding you 1 new piece of business. It might be that person. It could be somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that referred you. Doesn't matter, but that's generally how it plays out. I've tracked this for 4, almost 5 years now. So if we use that assumption, 630 contacts between now and the end of the year divided by a 50-to-1 ratio, holy moly. I don't know about you, but that's nothing to balk at. That's 12.6 units. And if I go back and I use what I've been using this entire time, which is an average sales price of 2.25 at a 2.8% commission rate, there's my average gross commission, which is $6,300 times those 12.6 units. That is almost 80 grand sitting on the table right there for the taking. I didn't say it was going to be easy. Yes, you have to be consistent and apply time on task over time. Yes, you need to be skilled with the words and scripts that you use, on and on and on. I'm not saying this is going to happen through osmosis. What I am here to show you is it's very feasible, it's very possible, and actually very probable that you will achieve this if you just do the freaking work and stay consistent. By the way, just a little fun fact for you, that's $78.75 per hour if you divide that into the number of working hours left in the year. And should I achieve this number, add it to, in my example, what I already earned for the year, which, scroll back up, was $25,200 out of a goal of $100,000. Well, that means I've actually exceeded my goal because I had awareness, I knew how much time was on the clock, and I was willing to do the consistent work and show up for myself and my teammates. If you did this number, 79,380, added in my example to the 25,200 already closed, you have actually still exceeded your goal with 6 months left on the clock. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because it was blurry and who cares. Are you connecting with this right now? If so, and I can't see comments, I'll have to go back and read them when I'm finished here. But tell me right now what's going on in your heads. Is this connecting with you? I sure as heck hope so. I sure hope so. So I do want to address one thing real quick. Why would I focus on the units? Hey, good for you if you got, big sales prices and all the stuff. This is a belief of mine, right? Use game 7 of the World Series as an example. You're going to hear announcers in events like that say, hey, we're playing for outs right now. This team has a lead. We're just playing for outs. If they score a run here and there, it's okay. We have enough margin. We have enough lead that's okay. We're playing for outs. We got 3 outs left and we won the World Series. That's the same way I see units. I coach to the unit. Okay. I want you to go get the units, get your unfair share. Why do I say that? Because even if I come up short, I still have some wiggle room with other variables that are at play here, because I may have a better average sales price. I got lucky and scored a couple big price homes, volume, whatever. Like, there's other factors, but I'm going to focus on driving the number of units that I need to close. And then if I should fall short, I still have some saving grace along the way where I might have gotten lucky and scored that $1 million closing or something. That makes sense? All right, so my, it's not a real question, but guys, what's so hard about this? There's nothing hard about this. You can't tell me having 5 conversations a day that are purposeful is hard, okay? I say it a lot, but if it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not important to you, then you're going to find an excuse. And this is, again, imagine us sitting in a locker room like a team would right now. Here's what I've learned, though. It's just that what's easy to do is also easy not to do, because we fall victim to the simplicity here. It's like, Jake, it couldn't be that simple. There's got to be more to it. So we start, that self-talk already happens right now for some of you. Don't let the simplicity of this make you believe that it's not possible. Okay, we can find excuses. We can find reasons to make this more complicated than it really is. After all, it can't be that simple, right? The goal here is not to work more, ladies and gentlemen. You'll never hear me say, go do more. In fact, I'd love if you didn't have to work so damn hard. I want you to be with your family, okay? The goal here is to work the next 126 days, the next 1,008 working hours with more focus than ever before. What if everything on your calendar was treated with the same importance that you would give $1 million listing appointment? I guarantee you would protect your calendar if everything was treated as $1 million listing appointment. This time right here should be just as important as if you had $1 million listing. Call me crazy. What if you only allowed things on your calendar that were in the top 20%? Don't act like you don't know what to do. Don't do that. You know, we're all adults here. You know the difference between right and wrong and what's productive versus just acting busy. Okay? It's showing the discipline of knowing what I'm going to say yes to and saying no to the rest. What if you actually cut out the BS and stopped overcomplicating things so you can later hide behind that complexity as evidence that it was hard and justification for future failures? Again, not everything in the locker room is what you want to hear, but some of us just need to hear it. So, Locker Room Nation, look, success is simple. I didn't say it was going to be easy. It's boring. It's repetitious many times, and you need to just get over it. You need to accept the boredom associated with mastery. One half of this game is over. You are back in the locker room. We're here to reflect on what's working and what's not working. We need to cut your losses. You're here to establish a new game plan so you can get out there and let the second half of this game be amazing and kick some freaking butt. I'm going to say it again, like I said earlier. Don't confuse your performance with your identity. Right? We just had a training recently said, don't confuse your identity with the thoughts that go on in your head. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. I cannot control every thought that comes into my mind. However, I can control how I respond and which ones I say can stay and which ones I say, get out of here. So the question is, sorry, not sorry, but are you ready to get your freaking jersey dirty? Are you ready to work the next 126 days with more focus than ever before? So once and for all, you cut all the crap and excuses out and you truly take a stance for yourself and your family. I can almost guarantee you that if you work the next 6 months with more focus than ever before, it will change your life forever. For some of you, you're in the absolute hardest time of your entire real estate career right now, and it does and can get easier. Most people just drag on success and limp their way through these excuses that they make. That ain't us, guys. You're part of something different. You're part of the locker room. And I and so many others are willing to take a stance for you more than you're willing to take a stance for your own limiting beliefs. Mark those words. It's time to buckle down, man. Right? The only way you can do this is if you truly have time on task over time, not taking a single day off where you fell short of those 5 quality conversations. And then and only then do I want you to come back to me in 6 months and say, Jake, you're an idiot or you're just a simple genius. Okay. So if you accept my challenge today, tag your coach, tag your office leadership, tag your best friend, tag your dog. I don't care. Tag somebody, because what I care about is the accountability and the public declaration that you're committed to this. So right here on this video, I want you to comment and tag on somebody and say, I'm all in. Tag whoever you need to tag, but tell them I'm all in. I need to know, and so does this entire team, who's ready to commit to the process, who's ready to embrace the suck a little bit. And as we like to say sometimes, that's in our manifesto. You guys, I'm going to come back and read these comments. I can't see them right now. I've been talking to this little camera this whole time. I hope when I end this video and I go look, I see a ton of committed people who participated, who commented, I'm all in, and tagged somebody that can hold them accountable. This is not as hard as we make it. 5 simple conversations a day. You've got 126 working days between now and the end of the year. Let's go get it done. I'm cheering for you. I will be your biggest fan, and I will also be your biggest accountability buddy if you need it. Okay. So guys, that's what I got for you. I went a little long. Okay. But I hope something here spoke to you. I am going to upload the example I just shared so you have that. And I'm going to upload a blank version of it so you can get to work and run those numbers and scenarios for your business. All right. That being said, my name's Jake. If you like this, comment. If not, go complain to somebody else, not me. All right, guys, we love you. We'll see you soon.